And gentlemen, and welcome back to the WGLNA Season 1 Gold League. I'm your host, Christian Toma. To my left, David Williams. Make sure to check us out on Facebook and YouTube /WGLNA. As always, if you're not watching this on battleviewer.com, go to that right now and check it out. And also follow us on Twitter @WGLNA so you guys can stay up to date on what's happening in the community around you.
And also check out the question of the day, which is, which remaining match are you most looking forward to?
That's right. Apparently my answer was a cheating answer. I'm still sticking with it because I'm really excited for the final match of the night to see the best top two teams fighting it off to see who claims victory. But David, let me hear your real answer.
High voltage versus elevate.
That's right.
Especially after that last match.
Oh,
Just
that
made
was
it even
fun.
better.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. But up first, we have for you guys Refuse versus Game Over. This is going to be the next one on the side of Refuse. We've got Cool Hammer. On the side of Game Over, we've got Mega. Let's get into that and take a look at what we've got. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hey guys.
Cool Hammer, we can see you. Mega. Decided not to get, apparently he's not showing up, so we're going to go ahead and start with you, Cool Hammer. Obviously, you are the only one we can talk to.
Yeah.
Now, going out for you guys, Cool Hammer, we see that you guys dropped Mort, and you guys picked up Baxtaz. That's hard for me to say. What can you tell us? Baxtaz, there you go. What can you guys tell us about that?
Nothing really special. We just Mort went to join I Love Lamp, and I wish him best of luck over there.
Okay.
Baxtaz is a guy, we know him since like many years. He's been on the original roster of this team, and he's back between us. He's an excellent player and a really good friend of us.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to see how you guys works out in your guys' format.
All right, so you're in the final stretch of your games with only Simp, a somewhat struggling #RU, and today Game Over in your way. How do you feel about the finals at this point?
The finals are getting really close, but before that we have to win the upcoming 3 matches. Like, we'll do our best to win each one of them. Like, yeah, I know I already said that. But
No.
If you want me to lie to you, I can.
Oh, yeah, that sounds good. No, I'm just kidding with you.
Oh. That's good, Cool Hammer. No, thank you so much.
Yeah,
now, I know.
match after match.
Matt, yeah, just focus on what is at hand. I like it. #YOLO. Now, Cool Hammer, Mega is not here, but if he were here, what would you say to him before the match gets underway?
Good luck and may the best win.
All right, well, I'm sure he's saying the best back to you guys. Best of luck as we get to the match. We'll see you guys soon.
Interesting little side fact there. Before they became a team, and this is Refuse, previously known as Top Tier,
Okay.
and before that, they played in a Chinese tournament, a tournament that many of us traveled over for,
Okay.
or several teams from different regions, different America, Canada, whatever, different countries. That's what
Yeah.
I'm going for. Went over for what used to be WCG, and they were playing under the name Milterra or something. So I met Baxtaz and Cool Hammer and some of these other people over there, and we had a big conversation about how they should join the league because they'd probably be pretty good at it.
Wow.
A couple, took them about a year.
So
they're pretty good at it.
So you might be saying that you were responsible for their assimilation into the league.
No, I certainly pitched to them.
Good.
That they should play.
I'm glad.
But, they made the decision and they put in the effort. 'Cause I didn't have anything to do with that.
That's
part.
true. You didn't coach them in there, but I'm glad that they are in it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the rosters now between both of these teams. Like we said, we have it a change. Baxtaz on the side of Refuse has been added. But David, any highlights from either of these lineups?
We've gone through the lineups a number of times. We know who are kind of the standout players. Last game, Mega Monero was standing out quite a bit for Game Over. They seem to be variant. There's no real firm player who's always the best on their team. It seems to swap around based on the situation.
Okay.
And it's a similar deal for Refuse, where almost all of their players are some of the top players in the league statistically.
Right.
And it's hard to choose favorites between all of them. And if I even started talking about it right now, it would just provide too much ammo for them to pick on each other. I've been playing a lot with them lately.
Good.
Outside of this in pub matches, so I'm not going to stroke anybody's ego here. They would like it way too much.
All right. Well, yeah, don't give in to them, David. But ladies and gentlemen, we are now ready for our second matchup of the night. Refuse Gaming versus Game Over, starting on Mines. Let's go right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
Refuse Gaming with 2 IS-3s, 3 T-54 lightweights, and 2 WZ-131s. Game Over with an IS-3, a T-32, an RU-251, 3 T-54 lightweights, and a T-37. You know what? I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to point out E63M6 Not only was it his birthday recently, but he is one of the best players in WGLNA season after season. And while KT and Drogon Pro would love to claim that title, you got to put in more work than one season, boys. E63, kind of the old grizzled veteran of the team in comparison.
Well, E63, if it was his birthday, ladies and gentlemen, be for birthday for E63. Give him the love that he deserves. As Henrique Dante taking 200. Well, it was recently.
Okay,
maybe like B minus. I don't know. Anyway, Henrique Dante taking some damage in that T54 on top of the hill, and it looks like Refuse Gaming is just going to be able. No, they're not actually going to take it. Game over. Doing a good job making sure they don't push up there without taking a bit of damage. E63 missing a shot, going down the hill and taking another one. Just above half now in his T54 lightweight, but he has made it up there. Rude Awakening now coming around all over the side. Now he's repositioning himself to maybe let the rest of Refuse Gaming make it up there. I like what E63 is doing here. Kind of popping back out so that Cool Hammer, Sublime, and maybe possibly, no, it doesn't look like it, but Drogon Pro could make it up there without taking more and more unwanted damage from the side of Game Over here. Rude Awakening now wrapping all the way around. Something I'm not sure we've seen a single tank do. Is he just looking for a flank there, David?
Yeah, he's exploring, seeing if he can get some side shots. Maybe if that eastern flank is open, he can slip in behind him. Just seems to be, like you said, just an exploratory thing. See what he can get. Try not to get isolated over there by himself.
We're getting a nice shot there into Henrique Dante from the side. Now the response going on Heish. Takes on the WC-131, an orange cataphract. 410 damage going in there. Now, David, you were kind of talking about these WZ-131s, and I believe Refuse Gaming brought 2 of them. What is it about these things? Why would you bring 2 to a fight like this instead of 1?
So they're bringing them for the DPM, the damage per minute. If you use the 85mm, it has some of the highest damage per minute out of all the tier 7s.
Really?
And it is arguably better than the LTTB at certain things. It depends on what you want to do with it. And Refuse seems to have been weighing in on this, and they like WZ-131 over the LTTB most of the time.
Okay.
It's an interesting comparison side to side. I personally, after evaluating the statistics, would say most of the time it's about personal preference.
Okay.
But if you're using the larger gun on the 131, it is it does more alpha damage, and that can be an asset over the LTTB's more steadily maintained trickle damage from its gun.
Sure.
All 3 guns, the 2 that are worth using on the 131 and the 1 that's worth using on the LTTB, are all great guns. Just depends on what you're looking for and what you prefer.
Now Memory League coming up, pushing onto the side of or Emma Lopez pushing on the side of Memory League, taking a lot of damage in that T-37. He's trying to make it to the rock to find cover. This should allow Memory League to just come around the side. He's looking for the shot. He should be able to let this one go pretty easily. There it is. Emma Lopez going down. The first tank of our second match of the night. And now Orange Cataphract taking some good chunk of damage from this flank, going over on the side. Some T-54 is coming to that one. IS-3, E63 coming in the corner along with Sublime Banana. Orange tucking himself away here by the WGLNA side, and Gandorfo finding Memory Leak on top of the lighthouse there. Sublime Banana coming in the corner, taking a shot, but he should be able to take this one down. Let's see if there's enough damage. No, that's what E63 is for. He's there to clean that one up. Orange Cataphract going down, and Drogon and KT making their way on the southern gap. J5 position, pressuring Drac Hero in that RU-251. And now 5 tanks remain for game over 6 for the side of Refuse Gaming. And about, now evening it up there is a nice shot from BR Game Over, goes into KT in his T54. But the HP still in favor of Refuse Gaming. Refuse is on offense, David, so they do technically have to cap, but right now it seems that they're doing just fine, just finding these just little minor bits of damage where they can. Oh, Gandorfo.
That's a problem.
That is a problem. Gandorfo picking up Rude Awakening.
So we do have 2 flank coming in from Drogon Pro and KT coming to the T54. They should be able to light up BR Game Over's T32, perhaps also get Henrique Dante's T54. The biggest problem for Refuse Gaming right now is no remaining tank. It's no strategic position. It's the time left.
All right, well, let's see if that time will count down against them, or if what they can do it quickly. E63 picking up Henrique Dante there. And KT and Drogon actually not doing anything quite yet. They've decided to reposition themselves. KT moving to the edge of the rocks here. Drogon still maintaining back there by the fallen tree. Sublime Banana, Cool Hammer still maintaining the hill with E63 in that B2 position. Meanwhile, the 4 tanks remaining for game over. BR Game Over taking some more shots. Looks like in a Drogon there, nothing connecting. And now, like you said, David, it's just the clock. So when they make that push, when they make that move, I mean, it's really going to come down to the focus fire and how well they can,
Absolutely, and they need to get it moving faster than this. They have Game Over strategically. They have the tanks they need. All they have to do is get this done faster without taking too much damage in the process. They're getting it started. BR Game Over is one shot away.
Let's see if it goes down. Sublime Nano going extremely low. KT actually finding Gandorfo before BR Game Over gets low. Cool Hammer lining a shot up, hitting it, but it bouncing. Unfortunate there coming out from that IS-3. And now the T-32 backing, doing a little dance up on top of the hill, taking some more damage on the Cool Hammer, and Drogon Pro takes him as well, but they're finally finishing off BR Game Over, moving across the way. 1 minute and 28 seconds left now. There is no place for these two tanks to run. It is just cleanup crew here. Let's see if they can do it. Refuse getting some nice damage on a Drac Hero. In his RU-251, Drogon gonna pick that one up. And now it is just Heish by the dock. Or should be going down, gets tracked, gets shot in the side. Cool Hammer in the ice coming around, but Drogon looks like he's going for the ram. No, E63 taking it away from him there. A beautiful pickup in the first victory of the night, of the match, going to Refuse Gaming there. Now, was that a little closer than you would have expected from Refuse Gaming there, toward the end?
Definitely. They had to end up shoving right down the middle of that uncomfortably because they didn't have much left. But I will give them props for recognizing that a lot of teams get scared away from this. Going straight through the middle. They could have survived it, and they did. And that was pretty much the best option they had to make up for the amount of time. If they had gotten that whole rotation stuff started earlier, they would have had enough time to whittle it all down from different angles, play it the safe way. But they didn't. They took good recognition of that. For Game Over doing a very good job forcing them into an uncomfortable position. They gave up some key elements and some key positions that allowed Refuse to take control of that match pretty handedly. But Game Over played very well. KT, I think we have time. We can go to stats here. KT, 9 penetrations overall, 2265. That's very high for that amount of penetrations. Drogon Pro with 1745. E63 with 1534. You can keep going down the list. Overall, just finding a lot more HP to do damage to. I believe Game Over was a little bit heavier than they were overall. Actually, no, they're roughly the same. My bad. Meanwhile, for Game Over Heish, now this is a name that probably stands out the most often. 8 penetrations for nearly 2,000 damage in that tank. Wow. RU-251 also doing quite a bit. I believe those two were on the island area, so they got a lot of shots in over time. But Game Over just didn't have the control points they needed to win that in the long run. A team that got frazzled by that, made some mistakes, unlike Refuse did in that situation, very likely would have lost to Game Over in that situation. But Refuse held it together, played their game, worked out where they needed to go, and got it all in the bag.
Absolutely. Well done for them in that situation. Now, was there a point where Game Over was sitting there? I think they had the 4 tanks remaining. Do you think if they had a chance to maybe push north and run past, I think it was E63 by himself, as the rest of the tanks were coming south? And as I talk, ladies and gentlemen, we're into the battle. So let's get right into that and take a look at what we've got for our tanks and what the teams are going to do for this battle.
Refuse Gaming with 2 IS-3s, 3 T-54 lightweights, an LTTB,
hey, there it is,
and a WZ-131. So they're going for a little bit more mobility out of that whole, or out of one of their tier 7s. Game Over with an IS-3, a T-32, an RU-251, 3 T-54 lightweights, and a T-37. Basically running the same thing they ran last time. Wouldn't surprise me to see them go to the same places. See how our Refuse adjusts.
All right, here, let's see Game Over. Let's see if they're going to do the same setup at the bottom of the hill and punish Refuse Gaming for trying to take that, or if Refuse is going to ignore the hill altogether. Memory leak in his LTTB now, heading to the lighthouse getting there pretty quickly. Henrique Dante setting up at the bottom, but it looks like not a lot of resources for the side of Game Over being spent for the bottom of this hill. They might just allow Refuse Gaming to just kind of walk up and take it. Here's Orange Cataphract actually now setting up in that IS-3. There's a shot going out onto KT. 236 points of damage. Not a lot. Now let's see if they can get Drogon as he's coming up as well. No, he actually makes it without taking a single puncture wound. Cool Hammer and Sublime now in those IS-3s. Just sitting up waiting for those bushes. Now, David, do you think would you ever see, unless obviously the team's doing it to be aggressive and take tanks on top of the hill, but in a situation right now when you have the hill to yourself, would you push an IS-3 up there, or are they better now kind of in the position that they're at?
Are you speaking of Refuse?
Yeah, so Cool Hammer. So is an IS-3 better on top of the hill, or is it better kind of in the middle?
It's better on top of the hill in this situation.
Okay.
But it really depends. There's so many different nuances to all the spots on the approach to hill and on top of the hill. Most of the time, it'd be better to be on top of the hill as an IS-3. Where Sublime Banana is pretty good, as he's mostly hauled down. But other than that, not a whole lot of other places you would want to be, given what Game Over is running. Game Over trying to get a little bit of a flank in. I saw Gandorfo chase away Memory Leak's LTTB. Memory League barely slipping away. Henrique Dante getting up here in the 3 line, looking for some sort of flank position. This could backfire on Game Over, but Game Over has an astounding amount of map control right now. And Refuse looks like they're going with a 3-tank flank, 254 lightweights and an LTTB to try and clean this side up and gain a little bit more map control overall.
Well, here we go. Memory League now stopping and letting Drogon and KT push their way up in those T54 lightweights. First shots going over on the side, nothing penetrating. Now Drogon and KT looking for Emma Lopez. He's in a lot of trouble. He's now just being turned. He was caught out. Surprise! Emma Lopez, 467 points of damage. Drogon finishing that one up. T37 now down and over in the north. Let's see what happens. E63 taking some damage himself. Gandorfo, along with Henrique Dante, pushing on the hill. Let's see if they can come over and find some sort of overmatch there, but I'm not sure they're going to be able to find it. It's 3 members against the 2 for the side of Refuse Gaming. E63 finding Drac here or there on top of the hill. Henrique Dante getting focused down. One more shot. He'll go down. E63 from the top, picking that one up, taking some damage from Heish, and now Gandorfo in his T54 should be going down to Memory League, who's going to pick that one up. 4 tanks remain on Game Over. Now Refuse has 6 as Rude Awakening is taken down. Orange Cataphract over there by Game Over. T32 and an IS3. They might not be in the best position as we still have those members, Refuse and Drogon, doing a good chunk of damage to them. They are now on the run. Heish and Drac trying to meet up at the bottom of the cap here. Coolhammer coming over on the I3. Let's see if he's actually going to keep going down all the way. He's getting very low, angling himself to try to find Heish maybe as he drives on by. Heish wisely just sitting back there, not pushing any further. Orange Cataphract taking a shot, going over, nothing connecting, but he is connected himself. I believe Drogon there, Memory League in that B2 position, making sure he can get some good damage on onto Heish there. Orange Cataphract still taking chunks, and now it looks like Refuse Gaming is just going to keep doing what they're doing, cleaning this one up, as we have Sublime now pushing against Heish and IS3 versus a T54 shot going in there. But I believe one more shot, and Heish should be able to go down if it's good. Well, no, 411, E63 coming down, but Memory League picking that one up, taking it away from him. 3 tanks remain for Game Over. Orange getting low, Coolhammer coming off the side of the hill, dropping Orange Cataphract. KT picks that one up. Drogon now coming to the back of VR. Game Over. Drac Hero getting chased himself. The sandwich has been initiated. Memory League getting a ram there. A lot of damage. 527 actually going into the LTTB, but Memory League will pick that one up. Drogon Pro picking up VR. Game Over. And Refuse now leading 2-0 on our first mimes, successfully assaulting twice on Demont.
No easy feat a lot of the time. Refuse just finding all the angles they need to get it done.
Yeah.
Same thing on stats as last time. Heish leading off Game Over. Memory Leak actually leading off for Refuse. That's interesting. 9 penetrations overall. But the rest of the team, very spread damage, exactly what you saw there.
Yeah.
They're all working together to trade it back and forth. Very elegant way of handling things. They got Refuse, that is. They got KT and Drogon in behind that eastern flank like we saw.
Yeah.
That allowed them to keep the T32 and the IS3 relatively contained where they were on Game Over's side. And then it was just a series of mismatches and pushes. Game Over offering up 2 tanks. E63 dancing away, getting hauled down and holding him back off, allowing for enough time for his reinforcements to come. Just a lot of good play coming out of Refuse. And just sort of relying on the fact that they can out-coordinate and outplay Game over time. Nothing special here. No glorious strategy, no forced responses. They just know if they show up and they look, they talk it out, they find the hole, and they get to play, that they'll win. So that's what they're going for right now, at least on offense on Mines. We'll see if they've got something up their sleeve for other maps.
Oh, man, if it's working.
Or perhaps Game Over has something up their sleeve.
All right, well, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Now, they're going for Game Over just real quickly before the match starts. We had them once the eastern flank came out from the side of going into Game Over, going in the south. They decided to push in the north. I think it was Gandorfo and someone else, and they just got overmatched pretty heavily. I think it was like 4-2. Why did they push that? I mean, did they think it was just misinformation? They didn't know where all the tanks were?
They did know that there were 3 tanks in the southeast, so they probably thought they could get an isolation on E63. And they had it for a minute. Okay. But they didn't commit for it. And they gave up too many things to try and go for it, honestly.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have switched sides. Refuse Gaming versus Game Over. Refuse now up 2-0. Let's get into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
For Refuse Gaming, 2 IS-3s, 3 T-54 lightweights, an LTTB, and a WZ-131. For Game Over, 2 IS-3s, 4 T-54 lightweights, and a T-37. Game Over is now on offense. Refuse is now on defense. But that doesn't necessarily mean the Refuse won't go hill. Looks like they're at least prepping for a hill engagement of some sort. I don't know if they want to go all the way up. They're certainly not taking the appropriate vector for it. But enough to punish Game Over if they do go up.
There we go. Gandorfo now going to be the first one to come under focus fire. Let's see if they can do anything for that. Shot's going out. Nothing actually connecting there. Finally, 207 points into Gandorfo there. But KT in his T54 taking about double that. I'm not sure that was extremely worse. Sublime Banana, Cool Hammer now pushing up aggressively, followed by E63. Let's see if Game Over can stop them from this. A shot going out from Sublime Banana. Nothing connecting there. Now BR Game Over is the focus. A nice little shot going through this. The cracks in the rock there. Gandorfo, as he popping out, taking damage in his T54. And let's see how this develops. So Refuse Gaming still maintaining this hill pressure, making sure that Game Over doesn't just freely take the map here from this top, doing a good amount of job punishing them. Memory Lake come around, looks like maybe for a flank. He has been spotted out. Emma Lopez still in the back. He's got to be careful because if Game Over turns, I guess they can't turn because the pressure from the hill is going against him there. Dracker takes damage. Memory Lake now being focused in his LTV. Dracker coming around the corner, going for the chase. Shots going out. Let's see who's going to come on top of here. Memory League now just trying to do his best to get behind the rock, but Emma Lopez coming to join Drac, making sure that they can take it. And on top of the hill, BR Game Over finding KT. This is not looking good for Refuse Gaming here. Over the north, E63 finding BR Game Over, but Drac Hero taking down Orange Cataphract. Henrique Dante finding Rude Awakening. Back and forth kills going up for these teams. 4 tanks remain for the side of Refuse Gaming. 5 for the side of Game Over, and now Gandorfo taking some more shots. He is still alive though. Here comes the pressure. Drogon Pro pretty healthy in his T54, chasing down Gandorfo. Shots going out for both of them. He might try to finish him off with a ram here. He does, taking that one out. A nice way to pick up Gandorfo before he can do anything else. And now it is a 4-on-4. The HP though is in favor of Game Over, but now Refuse Gaming clawing their way back as Emma Lopez getting in a fight with E63, a T54 versus a T37. Who's going to come in on top? E63 just barely 4 points of HP remain on that tank. Now the question is, how can he use it? Cool Hammer and Sublime Banana up on top in this IS3. Cool Hammer, a chunk going out there. He is getting dropped extremely low as well. Here comes E63 for the flank, taking a shot there. I'm leaving to Henrique Dante and getting ready to reload more into Heishin. Here comes the push. Here it is finally for review. Sublime Banana taking off Drac Hero. E63, beautiful amount of pressure. Henrique Dante finding Cool Hammer, but E63 finding Henrique Dante. Now just Heish remain. Refuse Gaming should be able to pick up now their 3rd victory here as Sublime Banana takes down Heish against Game Over on defense. One thing before we start praising how great that was for Refuse Gaming, I do want to point out that Game Over got extremely close. There was only 650 points of HP there for the side of Refuse. Does that show that, well, to my eyes, that was close, but to you, was that just still Refuse had such an advantage there?
Yes and no. We can go to statistics very quickly.
Okay.
Because there's enough here to talk about, and we haven't gone to them so far. Drogon Pro doing the most for his team, 9 penetrations for about 2,200. Cool Hammer, E63, who in my mind was hands down the MVP of the match.
Absolutely.
And then, it's just, man.
Killing it on 4 health,
Memory
too.
Leak
Whew.
and Rude Awakening doing exactly what they needed to, honestly. KT getting kind of wrecked. KT, this is why you're not on my fantasy team tonight. No, you wanted to be. Henrique Dante, 2,000. Heish, 1,700. Drac Hero. All very spread. So as you said, Game Over came very close. But
E63.
I'm not even going to praise necessarily Refuse for anything special. They sent both their tier 7s flanking around the outsides. Game Over kind of had to deal with it.
Right.
And it caused Game Over to peel off 2 tier 8s to deal with 2 tier 7s.
Gotcha.
So 2 T54 lightweights drove away, and then it was just Refuse's game from that point forward. What was amazing is how close it got after that point. Game Over playing all of those positions on the top of the hill and on the side of the hill very well. And Refuse kind of fumbling it a little bit. But based on what would happen there just strategically, that's about where you would expect numbers to end up in terms of how much HP each team had. I think Refuse could have won it a little bit more handedly with better focus fire and better penetration rates and perhaps some more HP sharing.
Okay.
But honestly, that's just splitting hairs at this point. They got it done.
Right.
And while it was very close, still, it was not an easy position to win for Game Over.
Right, and now, ladies and gentlemen, I was about to ask a question. We're in the match. This is a theme
You can
tonight.
ask a question anyways.
I'll ask my question once we get into it. Let's get right in, though. Refuse Gaming needing one more victory to make it 4-0 before we go into our next match. Let's see if Game Over can pick up one to mines and kind of lighten the load. David, what have we got for our
Refuse
tanks?
Gaming with 2 IS-3s, 3 T-54 lightweights, an LTTP, and a WZ-131. Game Over with 2 IS-3s, 4 T-54 lightweights, and a T-37.
All right. The question was, if E63 went down there as the battle, as it went right at the end, if he would have lost and got taken down, and then Game Over actually had a tank up on Refuse, how differently do you think that would have gone?
Just based on positions and timing, it still probably should have been Refuse
Really?
Gaming's,
Okay.
Refuse Gaming's thing. And provided that the T-37 was down in the 2 line, down in the 3 line, where they dropped down to. If E63 had gone down earlier and all those tanks were still there in the middle, then it might have been a different fight.
Gotcha, but still, how it went, Refuse Gaming taking that one. Here we go, now on top of the hill, Gandorf on high, still coming across, but this time, Refuse Gaming ready and set up, 619 points, dropping Gandorfo to about half there and scaring Heiss from even going up at all. A beautiful opening for Refuse for this hill fight, and also taking the HP lead 6 minutes and 20 seconds in. Now, Heiss on the retreat. Now looking at how that kind of went, you've just got now one member on top of the hill for Game Over. Is that something you really got to be worried about? Should we be seeing Gandorfo kind of bailing quickly?
It's not enough, and he needs to get some damage on the tanks that go up, but he definitely does not want to take any damage in return. Game Over is in a very hard place right now. All their tanks are bunched up in places they can't easily get away. Refuse Gaming is there to take advantage of it, and you only got one guy on the hill, and he's at half health. So you need to really do a lot of damage on the tanks that come up, bouncing them back and forth, tracking them, etc. One, not going to do so hot. And if Gandorfo stays as close as he is, it's only a matter of time until Refuse is able to push Game Over back for just a moment
if they push
and
now.
drop at least 154 up there and end it. But doesn't look like Refuse is even going to bother with that head-to-head approach. Looks like they're going to do the same thing as last time, except KT is in an LTTP now instead of a T-54. So it's just going to be 2 Tier 7s on the outside. But Game Over making a smart play, debatably trying to bring their Tier 8s around the outside. It's better than staying where they were.
Orange Cataphract and Gandorfo both going down for the side of BR for Game Over, and now Drachero takes some damage. Rude Awakening doing a smart thing. Just sitting back. Here comes the flame they're looking for, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. Maybe it's all they have to do, but Sublime Banana and the rest of Refuse Gaming destroying Enrique Dante as he shows his face on the hill. Now, it is just a 4-on-7. Refuse Gaming should be able to clean this one up. BR Game Over extremely low. Drachero, one more shot. KT picking that one up. Rude Awakening dropping Drac. And now Heiss is the next victim on the chopping block. Sublime Banana rushing into him in that high street, getting a nice bit of ram damage there, but Dazzling Time will be the one to finish it off. ML Lopez is the only one alive in his T-37, but not for long there. Let's see who's going to pick it up. I believe it will be KT. It is ML Lopez dropping a quick and decisive victory for Refuse Gaming now, increasing their lead 4-0 against Game Over. That was, man, that was unfortunate for Game Over. Now looking at, right when we saw Gandorfo and Heiss were going to go for that hill, Gandorfo gets lit up and Heiss is like, nope, slams on the brakes, backs off.
There's your problem.
Right. I was going to say, you should just keep going.
Yep.
Great.
Because everything that just shot at you, that just could have shot at
Heiss,
Heiss,
just
shot.
empty. Right.
Heiss could have gotten on top. That would have been a very, very different fight had at least one other 54 gotten on top. Still doesn't mean Game Over would have won.
Sure,
like
no.
I said, that flankerino they tried to pull out there at the end
Did
was debatable.
not work out.
And Refuse saw it coming, and they got the Tier 7 over there. That's good play on Refuse's part.
Sure.
And had they not done that, then Game Over's flank may have been a huge problem. But still, it does provide an easy isolation. And while they are 54s, whatever.
Okay.
We can get into all sorts of detailed discussion about that. But what it comes down to is Cool Hammer doing 2,300 damage in his IS-3,
Whew.
and Sublime Banana doing literally 1,337 damage in his IS-3. Elite damage there, Sub. Spirit of their team. You heard it from Cool Hammer.
Yeah, that's true.
There.
That's true.
Still don't know whether to believe him.
You
People
gotta
have
believe
been
him.
wondering why I don't believe Cool Hammer a lot of the time.
Cool Hammer wouldn't lie.
They, like I said, I know them, and they like trolling me. So they like trying to tell me stuff. So.
But they wouldn't troll me, you guys, right? Right? You guys wouldn't troll me.
Okay, so overall in that match, Game Over, just strategic disadvantage, play disadvantage, not holding as well as they did when they were on defense. Their offensive strategy just not getting it done. Perhaps still attempting the 1-2 push would have been a better move for them. Going mid against a team like Refuse.
Just don't.
I don't know. It's the same discussion we got in with Elevate when they were playing Maple Freedom.
Right.
You don't go middle, then Refuse is going to win. If you do go middle, Refuse could very well win. It's
hard. It's a hard
Mines
place
is
to be in.
a great map for teams like Refuse and Elevate and High Voltage and in many instances synergy, because if you have that offensive control and you're a very cohesive team,
right,
it's almost a free win for you as
wow.
long as you don't make mistakes and you know the strategy. So it's just not a match where a team like Game Over wants to be playing a team like Refuse at all. You don't want to be playing Mines.
So start banning Mines. But let's see, ladies and gentlemen, as we're into our next battle, Ghost Town. Let's see how well they're prepared for this. Refuse just needing one more victory to pick it up. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
Alrighty, Refuse with two 5100s, two IS-3s, a T-32, and two WZ-131s. Game Over with two 5100s, three IS-3s, a T-54 lightweight, and a T-37. So in terms of scout game, head-to-head, two WZ-131s versus a T-54 lightweight and T-37. Man, I wish I knew the answer to that off the top of my head.
I won't ask it.
I think the 131s would actually win in that head-to-head. It'd be close, though. It'd be exceedingly close. One thing's clear, 54-37 matchup has 50 hit points on it. Just fit, well, no, 130. Whatever, math. So, Refuse Gaming going over here on the east side. Looks like they're gearing up for a northern cap. Game Over, very well positioned to handle that. Perhaps they'll be able to punish Refuse if they try and go into the cap area. But Game Over is very spread. Or not very spread, sorry, very
bunched up.
Opposite spread.
very opposite.
Bunched up over here behind this building in the C4 area. I don't know. Refuse has to make some sort of play here. Perhaps they're going to slide back into the 2 cap. But I'm not sure what Game Over would do with cap pressure there. If it would just be a no frills push directly onto Refuse for the fight, or if they have something else, some other way of splitting prepared. We've seen them do this before, and they dumped 3 tanks down this road. You see, just or 3 tanks down the road along the sea line, and then 2 that moved in closer where Refuse is now. Without bringing up the map, because I'm not sure we have enough time to do that. It's kind of hard to describe. But really, I think the only thing that's clear right now is both teams are just trying to do some exploratory measures.
Yeah.
See where they want to initiate this cap. Refuse is 1 away from winning. They don't have a whole lot of pressure on them.
Right.
They can afford to spend this time, and if they mismanage the clock, they have another attempt before they have to go on defense, where they probably feel pretty comfortable for a win. Game Over, on the other hand, needs every one of these.
Yep.
They need to win this entire set or it's over.
All right. Now, also looking at kind of what happened at the beginning, Rude Awakening in that WZ-131 put some pressure into the center cap, cap number 2 on your maps down the bottom right there. And it did cause a couple members for Game Over to turn their turrets, but Rude Awakening actually decided to back off. Why do you think he backed off there? I mean, he obviously applied pressure for a reason. He didn't go around it. He could have easily, gone around the cap.
He might have just been cutting across to do a little spot check on the other side to see what kind of threat he was under.
Okay.
It looked to me like, I didn't see exactly where he went, but it looked to me like he might have been trying to spot to see where Heish is going right now. But KT's over there to make sure that doesn't happen. That is going to be important for what Refuse is trying right now. Heish's tank, if he gets up where KT is bullying him out of, he can actually fire in and reset Rude Awakening, no problem. So, Game Over, not trying to do anything really outlandish here. Looks like they're just going to take M. Lopez, bring him in next to Heish, and try and 2v1 KT.
Yeah, well, here we go. Also, shots happening in the city, right by the center courtyard. VR Game Over, and Enrique Dante exchanging damage with Refuse Gaming there. Dazzling Time is the one who's receiving all of it. Toolhammer took a shot, but definitely more damage being given to Game Over than Refuse. And now the IS-3s are backing off Emma Lopez and then T-37. Another shot going into Enrique Dante. He doesn't quite get one out again. Now here Drogon Pro and EC3 coming around the corner of the 5100s. Let's see how much damage they can do here. Some shots being fired into Drac Hero, who's taking a lot of damage. Going drop extremely low, 1,100 points, a couple more shots, and he will go down. Drogon taking another one. Let's see if he can finish him off. There it is, picking that one up. Now ML Lopez in that T-37. He'll get one more shot onto him. Let's see if he can. Yes, 278. Cap pressure is still being applied there for Rude Awakening. ML Lopez has to get this reset, or it's going to be all over and all for naught. Enrique Dante going down to Coolhammer. There's the reset, but it will definitely be at the cost of his own life. Rude Awakening, Sublime Banana, back-to-back kills, getting ML Lopez and BR. Coolhammer going down for the side of Refuse Gaming. Gandorfo picking up Dazzling Time, and Heish picking up KT. Game Over trying to claw their way back, trying to find every single tank that they can. It is now a 3-on-3 as Gandorfo also takes down Sublime Banana, but E63 has his shots in that 5100 loaded. He takes another one. He now has 5 to go, in Gandorfo, as he might be on the reload. Rude Awakening being careful to step out in that WZ-131, but he's going to find him. Taking the shot. Rude Awakening picking that one up. And now Drogon has his shots ready to go as well. Orange on the reload has about 21 seconds still to go. They are on defense, so Rude Awakening technically does have to push, but I mean, they've got a lot of firepower there between those two 5100s and Rude Awakening. Shots now being taken out in that 5100. Orange Cataphrag going down 907. Another shot going to make it up to 1100. And one more should seal the deal here. That's a shot. E63 trying to pick that one up, but Drogon going to seal it. Drogon picking up Heish as well. Back-to-back kills, making it 5-0. A clean sweep going out there for Refuse Gaming against Game Over. Now, one thing, before we start breaking down what happened in this match, I kind of want to point out, before we had Synergy versus High Voltage, and we said that one thing that Synergy has their best chance possibly against a team that's more experienced is to get them into a situation they're not quite, comfortable with, not quite used to. And it just didn't seem like Game Over even tried to do that here. They tried to do the very general kind of same play, and Refuse absolutely punished them for it.
Pretty much. Only stat worth mentioning to that whole thing is Drogon Pro in his 5100, 3166.
Wow.
In that. And I'm actually curious to see how many shots he fired. Only 12, but it was a perfect 12.
12. Whew.
Snap.
Well done.
It's not that crazy 19 we saw coming out the other day.
He's making it, though.
Overall, that IS-3 got caught out. A little bit of a wombo combo there. E63 and Drogon Pro keeping him pinned, finishing him off. Where are you at? So,
well done.
Other than that, Refuse, like you said, having full control over Game Over in pretty much every one of those battles. A little bit of slippage in one of the games on Mines, but
sure.
GG Refused, full dominance.
Absolutely. Congratulations there, picking that one up for us.